QEF Mobility Services is located here in Carshalton in South London. It's one of 4 services provided by Queen Elizabeth's Foundation for Disabled People, QEF for short. QEF is a leading disability charity working with people with physical and learning difficulties or acquired brain injuries to help them gain new skills and increase independence for life. Mobility is perhaps the most important factor in enabling disabled people to achieve independence and freedom outside their home. QEF Mobility Services provides practical advice, mobility assessments and training for those wishing to drive or increase their mobility through assistive technology, personal mobility vehicles and adapted cars, alongside wheelchair and scooter assessments and seating and transfer assessments. It may be a simple matter of choosing a wheelchair or learning to drive a mobility scooter, but for many it's the opportunity to discover for the first time if driving is a viable possibility and what, if any, car adaptations might be required. For some it might be the desire to return to driving after an illness or accident, for others to ensure that age-related changes are addressed for licence renewal. A range of specialised training courses on disability awareness are provided for healthcare professionals and qualified driving instructors and organisations all over the country. The centre has a private driving track for driver training and assessments, as well as a static rig and a large, well-equipped demonstration area containing a variety of demonstration vehicles, wheelchairs and mobility scooters. It also includes a full-sized section of aircraft fuselage for try-before-you-fly air travel assessments. Linda has used QEF Mobility Services for more than 20 years. She has spina bifida. It affects her left leg, but although she can get about on crutches at home, the extra demands on her right leg mean that she needs to use a wheelchair out of doors. Following assessment, she has a Motability car with hand controls, a wheelchair hoist and a device for shutting the boot. Linda, what does it mean to you to have the ability to drive this car?
I'm my own person. I can go wherever I want if the other end is okay. I don't know what I'd do when I can't drive anymore. It's not worth thinking about really. It's just the end of all my independence.
Please be candid. Criticisms are allowed. But were they good to deal with at QEF?
Very good. I was having a lot of pain in my shoulder driving like this with the hand controls, and I came for an assessment and they were very good and they gave me some really simple solutions to the problem. Just being that much higher was amazing. That made such a lot of difference. And recently they've helped me. I've had a bit of arthritis in my neck and they've been able to tell me about mirrors and things like this that keep me more stable in the seat. The things there are that can help you drive, even with the most severe disabilities, and they have all that information. They always make you feel comfortable, relaxed, and that they're doing what they can for your good, whether that be not to drive or ways to drive.
Matt is 40. He contracted a rare condition by the name of spinal neurosarcoidosis in 1999. The disease of unknown origin attaches itself to the nerves, and for Matt this resulted in muscle weakness and stiffness in his legs. He used to be a keen cyclist, but that's no longer an option. A driving assessment at QEF recommended a push-pull hand control, and after driving lessons in an adapted car, he passed his test first time.
I was constantly sort of out on the bike or walking and played a lot of sports as well, sort of five-a-side football, so tried to keep as active as I possibly could.
Then you became ill and obviously all of that had to stop. How did you find QEF Mobility Services?
The medical staff at the local hospital actually advised me to come here and have an assessment done to see what sort of alternative controls I could use.
The assessment is clearly key to all of this. Just give me a sense of what the assessment involves.
The first stage is the setup that we've actually got here, which is a little simulator rig, and this will record some vital information such as your reaction skills and your eyesight and your general overall mobility and an ability to use pedals or have a look at alternative controls. So that all that information is recorded It just gives people other options for actually using vehicles as opposed to just for pedals. Because if somebody's got sort of leg issues or, you know, limited mobility, they can be using their hands and their upper body.
So what does it mean to you, Matt, to be able to drive now?
Being able to sort of go out and sort of do things without having to worry about sort of either weather conditions or whether somebody was available to take me out or expensive taxi rides. So it's just for freedom. I wouldn't have been able to sort of go down this route because I didn't even know that such equipment was available. It provides invaluable sort of information and options for people under certain circumstances similar to myself, that they can actually go out in a car and they're just going to be as independent as anybody else.
Marion, who typically makes use of QEF Mobility Services?
Quite a wide range of people, from the elderly who are sent possibly by the DVLA to have an assessment on driving ability, to young people who are disabled that want to learn to drive. Then we may have people that have become newly disabled, so they would come along for an assessment and be advised which adaptations would be most suitable to them, because sometimes people think that because they can't use their right foot they need a left foot accelerator, when in actual fact, in practice, they find that hand controls may be easier. And then of course there's the wheelchair assessments and seating transfer assessments, which are both for passengers and for drivers. The vehicle that we're sitting in now, for example, a wheelchair accessible vehicle, is very important. Some people want to drive from a wheelchair.
And for somebody who hasn't ever been here, what could they expect if they came to seek your help?
If they're a disabled person coming to QEF Mobility Services, they'll get a lot of understanding. The occupational therapist will talk to them to gain a better understanding of their lifestyle and their medical condition and the needs of what they're looking for. So whichever assessment they're actually coming for, they can be assured that they will be looked after very well, carefully and with empathy to their situation.
And of course one of the great strengths and one of the great values of QEF Mobility Services is the official accreditation that you have.
Yes, the QEF Mobility Services is accredited by the Forum of Mobility Services and it's endorsed by the Department of Transport and the DVLA.
Here at QEF Mobility Services, we're proud of our service and the staff and what we can achieve with our clients. Each year, nearly 1,000 people come through these doors for assessment. Our focus is to help each individual to become as mobile and self-sufficient as possible.
If you'd like to find out more about QEF Mobility Services, please visit qef.org.uk or call 020 8770 1151.